And welcome back to the Inside Star Citizen Review. Guys, very excited here. We know Free Fly Week came in. We know 3.10 I'm not super hot about. I talked about it on a video on the channel. We understand what we're going to see right here. We're talking about the 100 series origin. They're going to show, obviously, because they want to get people introduced to this. I think they could do a hell of a lot better job to get those eyeballs glued in and get people into the game and give them better experiences than what they have been. I think they've got to really think out the whole process where they get a new person, they bring them to the project, and, you know, like, boom, the money goes to them, and then you feel the commitment right back, and you have a good experience with an alpha. But DG, it's an alpha with blah, 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 blah. 8 years, make it work. Do a good job, Cloud Imperium. Do it. You can do it. I believe in you, and they will. Now it's time for the Inside Star Citizen Review. We're going to watch this. They're also going to talk about something I'm really interested in, is the building blocks tech. Because, you know, I've been arguing for a UI that's simplistic and easy to use, because really simplicity sells. Simplicity does all the work. When the design has simplicity in mind as a focus, and that's what building blocks does, it makes the experience 10 times better. At least. The more simplistic in design, I think the cleaner, the smoother, the better the experience that you have. So let's watch this, and after it, bonus, we're gonna watch something everybody's been talking about: a Star Citizen Machinima, whatever nationality you are, whatever accent, it's there. We're gonna watch that after the Inside Star Citizen Review. So let's do it. Let's see what this one's about. What are we at? We're at 8 minutes. Boof, boo. And that's something I'm going to talk about on the DG360 podcast. I'm going to talk about, you know, content length, production value of the Inside Star Citizen, subscriber money, how much money per video it costs for the production. We got the numbers coming up this Saturday. You won't want to miss that. Now, let's watch it. Right, Ryu. Right.
I don't necessarily think that bigger is better when it comes to spaceships.
For example, with the 100i being a small ship, you're a small target in battle. Your cargo's easily accessible, and if there's maintenance to be done on your components, it's all there to hand. These are examples of why a small ship does have its place.
A lot of the time with ships,
the 100i looks 10 times better than the 300i. Why? Because it's a little bit more flat and obelisk as opposed to the 300 that looks like a banana, in my opinion. I miss the old 300 series design, the feel, the race car, the whole the beauty of the old 300i. And they replaced it with that damn banana. But this, the 100i, interestingly enough, I like that flat kind of obelisk look. I like that a lot better than how they put that arch on the 300i on the 300's top.
There'll be many changes made from concept to final. Thankfully with the 100 series, however, that hasn't really happened. Obviously it was very important for us to keep the look of that initial concept going, which we've managed to do.
I found
Bugatti
that working on
was
a
spelled
small interior
B-N-A-N-A.
such as the 100, you have these specific areas
yes,
that
then you're right,
have
Jiro.
a unique purpose. And the difference of working on a small ship like the 100i is everything is contained in this small space.
When the 100i was initially concepted, we were obviously going off the metrics that were being used at the time, and since then metrics have been updated. So for the dashboard, for example, we've now gone into a more physicalized dashboard where every button can be interacted with. This will be the first new ship using this new mechanic.
Okay, are we going to get like a rework on all the other ships and all the other buttons on all the other ships? My God. Man, you know what this is about, right? This is about that Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. All the little buttons, right? Because Chris saw that. Chris saw the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and he saw all the little buttons and switches did things. It's exactly what I knew was going to happen. That's exactly what I knew what was going to happen. We said it when we were watching it on the preview on the stream a week or two ago. I said, this is what's going to happen. And boom! Boom! DCS does that too. Jiro's right. And by the way, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, you're beautiful. You're freaking beautiful. I'm thinking about saving up for another HOTAS setup because, damn it, beautiful.
It's always a challenge trying to fit everything you need to into a small package. For example, with the seat, we had to raise to accommodate
so
the landing gear from the exterior.
Although an issue through making
it's a better looking ship than I thought it was going to be.
A nice result in the end because it kind of separated the pilot from the living space, even though in tight confined space it gave a feeling of a separation.
So the components went through a couple of iterations.
What's the price point on this one, guys?
Maximize the space. The bed went through a couple of iterations in terms of animations. And
yeah, a lot of new people
as
well.
Will have that default logout option in their ship. So no need to worry about going out somewhere.
45, thanks,
being
fam.
lost
Thanks,
and
Shadow.
having to find somewhere else to log out. You can log out in the 100 series. One of the evolutions of the 100 series was the missile launchers. In order to not change the look of the exterior of the ship, we built these bespoke missile launchers that are tucked underneath the ship itself.
God damn it, this looks better than the 300. This is what I'm saying. You know, this is the thing that happens when you get the new ships coming out on the line, right? The new ships are always looking better and have more stylish designs and better use of the space than the predecessors, because they're always up in their game. But then, boom. But then you got to think about the older ships, and then what? You're gonna melt. You're gonna go blah blah blah. But the 100 should not. The 100 is better looking than the 300. And now this reminds me of what we talked about this morning. The NVIDIA 2000 series, the people that have the 2080s and the 2070s now are like, you know, and they're looking ahead and they see the 3000 series hit. This is kind of like the same thing happening here in Star Citizen. It's like the people with the 300i are looking at the 100i and they're saying, why does the 100i looking better than the 300?
So the 100i and the other two variants will all have a missile launcher at the front of the ship, which is tucked away, and the 125A has an extra bigger missile launcher also at the rear of the ship. Now these are completely hidden away, so again you wouldn't notice them at first, which helps us keep the nice sleek appearance of the 100 series in place.
It looks a shit.
I'm very pleased with how the 100 series has gone personally.
Being able to focus on a smaller contained area and actually focus those details in has been refreshing.
It's been a great experience. It's very fun.
They did a really good job on this.
I learned a lot of new things.
I was ready to throw this in the trash the second I saw it. I thought that this was going to be like my initial thought of this was like blech, and like congratulations to the people that designed this shit, because it far surpasses. I gave this no chance of me ever liking this, and they've proven me wrong on this particular model.
There's been very little change made, no major issues.
I hope players, when they fly this ship, get a sense of grandeur and class when they're flying it.
While the 100 series of starter ships is making its way through the ship pipeline ahead of its debut in the upcoming Alpha 311, the front-end experience for Star Citizen itself is being refined via the use of building blocks. Now, while this next version may look and feel much the same as you've already been used to, the conversion itself will provide improved reliability and set the stage for additional functionality down the line.
So what we did this quarter is we converted our front-end UI to the new building block system that we're converting the rest of the game over to. And what this is doing is it's setting us up for the future for further expansion of our front-end experience.
This guy's in the middle of a move, or this is just the room that his wife stuck him into. She's like, she doesn't want to have to deal with anything this guy's doing. She's like, you're going to the room again. This is the room that has been assigned to you. I don't want to see your face. Get in that room and go to work. We got bills to pay.
To walk you through what we've done so far.
Right.
This is the new UI that we've put together. You'll notice that there's a lot more realistic.
Okay, and you know what? This is just this commentary right now I'm about to give is really more about production value. And again, Booch and I are going to get into this on the podcast. We talk about this. We actually talk about this. But like, these are things that like I think people should keep in mind. The amount of money that's that's being spent by subscribers, and that money was promised to go into the production of a show. Now, I know they're working hard. I know they're working from home. But like I said, as comparison, CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk 2077 has a series called Night City Wire. And I don't know how much they spend per episode there, but I do know how much they spend per episode on on productions that go towards the YouTube channel. And we talk about that again on the podcast Saturday, Booch and I do. And I think I have an aneurysm. I think I actually have. I was editing that the other day some more, and I literally was listening to myself going, wow, the rants have been crazy lately on my channel. I have been like the terrific rants lately. Terrific rants.
Because we do have a lot of panoramic shots we want to swap out for the players on a regular basis. What we will get to is some sort of character selection where you can see your character in the middle of this screen here. And so this is kind of setting us up for the future of that. You notice we got the videos running in the background of these buttons here. So we preserve that from the Flash implementation. We've got the friends list here and the notifications list here. But one thing I wanted to show you that we thought was pretty cool is we actually allow these to pin to the side of the screen now. So kind of emphasizes that freeing up the space so that you can see these cool backgrounds that we're putting into the game here for you. So
that's probably fairly simplistic
in,
to do.
We
I don't
wanted
know if that
to
would be
try
that difficult to do. It's like
a
Windows-based
players
system.
that have never played our game before. So what do they need to do here? There's a drop down here that they need to fill in, and once they do, cool, you get another drop down, right? So we're trying to guide the new players through this process a little bit more, a little more handful.
Thank you, Hammer. God bless, dude. I appreciate you so much.
I know my money goes to this show at least.
Thank you. Production value A+ here on DG360. Thank you, Hammer. Thank you, dude.
Holding, but what we've got here is we've got a bunch of different backgrounds so that you can kind of see the location that you're going to. We thought that was a
Let me switch sides real quick here.
Try and put into place, and
wait a second.
And then you can join the game, right? So going back,
I was going to try and get on the right side, but I don't want to do that because then I'll screw everything up.
And bam, there you go. So
I got to put your money towards getting that upgraded, Hammer.
Now, one thing I want you to see here.
What's up, Calvin?
People were kind of talking about like, man, I really wish I had a way to kind of get rid of all
Cheers,
these. Well,
Hammer.
guess what? We added a button that will literally clear all of these.
We are all solo red solo cups right now.
Text here will kind of be changed to indicate that as well, say a clear passive or.
I didn't really notice any alert either.
So, you remember we had that huge pop-up in the middle of the screen here that was just kind of ugly. It kind of overlaps some of these other UI elements. It was a little clunky, and while we're still in the process of kind of honing in on the size of this window here, you'll kind of notice that the region selection is now down in the corner here. And one of the things we're actually going to do before you guys get your hands on is we're actually going to make this pop up instead of down here. So we call it a drop up. So by converting,
I just think when I see the region selection, I just start to think about server issues in general, and it starts to really tick me off. They need to have an episode where they really delve deep into like what's going on with server based issues and problems. Like, that's all that makes me think right there. So then I kind of like, I'm starting to feel,
putting this all over, it allows us to have much better control over the UI as a whole, so that as we transition, back and forth between these screens, it's a wholesale.
Yeah, I mean, it looks a bit cleaner, but
the UI. So I know what you guys are thinking. This looks a lot like what we had before, but what is really important to understand is that this puts the entire front end that everything else hooks into a modular system that we can expand on really easily. So somebody wants to add a new game mode, Theaters of War perhaps, done. It's a single button, it goes right in. If we want to add a new character customizer or expand on just the other things that tie into the front end, like cool, now we show your character in the middle, now we show an organization, list.
Yeah, I mean, like, it should translate all the way through even while you're playing the game in the game. And that's, I think, what he's getting at. I think what he's saying is building blocks is going to pass through into the game. So we also saw, like, I think it was about a month and a half ago, building blocks being responsible for a lot of the UI for inventory and how you're going to be placing inventory on yourself too. I could be wrong about that, but I believe there was a talk had about building blocks being used as well for inventory management on your character. I'm sure that'll pass through to the ship as well, if that is true. So that's what I think he's trying to talk about, is that the UI is going to pass through into the game, and I hope to God so. And I hope to God we even see that being translated into the Moby Glass, because the Moby Glass feels so damn dated. Like, the Moby Glass does not feel good right now. Yeah, also that it will be continuous from, like Calvin says, not only will it go into the game that way, but also it'll be translated from in the game into Spectrum as well. So it's all one continuous thing. You do it in the game, it goes to Spectrum. You do it in Spectrum, it goes into the game. So it's not just like a UI interface, it's a communicative interface that translates from the game to Spectrum. And how they're going to use that, I'm not quite sure. But it is interesting that this man's room is this messy. Talk to your wife, man. Have a conversation with her. Don't be stuck in this room. Do not let her push you to the side with all the junk. Stand up for yourself, man.
Whatever
or get a green screen.
It's gonna hook in
or a 3080 card, Killian.
This is really all about here.
Killian.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that with the
Red
100
Bear,
series, good
you were here
things
this
can
morning?
still come in small packages.
Just get a 3080 card. You don't need a green screen.
The verse doesn't mean you have to look like it. And that building blocks continues to be the tool allowing our designers a modular system that can be easily expanded upon and further configured as development
Too short,
continues.
too fluff.
For Inside Star Citizen,
no.
I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you next week.
No. And that's why I knew it. I knew it was going to be like this. And I'm upset. And that's why we're going to watch the Star Citizen Machinima right now, right after this. But first, I really want to vent on this for a second. I want to say this. We're going to talk about this weekend on the podcast. After I'm done editing it, I'm going to release the podcast out to our VIP members that have access to the podcast. And you can listen to a talk about financials, about SIG, their revenues, and also the most important part as well that I think is really important is how our subscription money is being used. Because that just wasn't cutting it for me. That just doesn't cut it for me. I know these guys work hard. I know these guys are working from home. But like, to me, I got to set the bar higher. It's time. And really, I think it should be reflective of speaking with your wallet as well. You know? It's not a bad thing to say these things, to hold people accountable. We'll get a better experience from it. And that's, one of the reasons I do so much commentary on Star Citizen. How about that knife flare, says Cash. Now, I'm not really going to get too much more into it than that. I don't want to be disparaging or mean. I want to keep it constructive. Like, it should just be a constructive conversation. And really, when it comes down to it, I want to see the people who are subscribing, that pay monthly subscriptions, I want to see them feel as if, like, hey, I made the commitment to subscribe. The content that I'm getting feels like what I'm paying. Like that's simply it. Simple transaction of faith right there. That's all I'm trying to get across. And, we get the digital flair and stuff like that, But like, to me, especially because I'm a content creator, I think it hits home even more so with me because I am a content creator. I really want to see the content hit me in a good way. And that just didn't feel that good. So now, those that stuck around, congratulations. I hear a lot of good stuff about this. It's a machinima by a guy named Bed Bananas. And it's called Star Citizen: The Prison Escape. So I want to watch this with you guys. I have not seen this yet, guys. It's 28 minutes long. And you know what? We'd still be talking about Inside Star Citizen if this was like a 15-minute Inside Star Citizen. Because we know we can expand it with talk because we got lots to talk about. But honestly, there wasn't a lot in that show. There wasn't a lot in that show, and that's why I did this. I said, you know what's going to be nice for people that show up on the stream that I can do for you guys is like, if you haven't seen it, just let's watch a cool Machinima. Let's watch a cool Star Citizen Machinima afterwards. So without further ado, let's see what this is all about. Oh, hey, thank you, Hammer. Whoa. You got the color changing mug. Ooh, that mug is awesome, by the way.